Hey there, my name is Pravus and welcome to more Foundation. In the last video, we spent a fair bit of time building out what I am now calling Monk Island. And I stand by that. We are going to be building out a lot more of this location later, but for right now, things are looking pretty good. We've got our monks, we've got our nuns. They are growing some berries and herbs, and we're also building up a hospitarium or whatever it was called. I don't even remember at this point. Very soon, we should be able to start getting some extra goods out of them. In fact, I think we could right now. Yeah, we've actually got enough. We can go ahead and get monastic beekeeping. Let's do it. All right, with monastic beekeeping, I can start getting myself some honey, and I can get myself some wax. Honey is okay. Wax? That sounds pretty darn helpful because I would love to be able to start making some candles and selling those to my people. So let's place a little apiary. How about right over here or something? So what's something else that I want to do? Well, a couple of things. One, we're rebuilding the tavern. And I did a little bit of reading, and I am pretty sure that I just misunderstood how the tavern works. It's kind of a hint right here. The upper class get to enjoy fancy meals. I would have thought that commoners are upper class enough that they would be able to enjoy something as simple as beer, but apparently that's not true. Citizens only, I believe. So, if I want to actually make use of this tavern, we're going to have to do a lot more promotions, and that's going to have to count as a luxury good, which should be fine, if I'm completely honest with you. We have plenty of beer, and I should even be able to produce some nice meals using the boar meat and the cheese that we've been getting so far. So we can get a thriving tavern going if I'm willing to promote a lot of people, and that's going to cost me a lot of money. Another thing that we want to do in this particular video is I want to start schmoozing up to the kingdom. And to do that, we need to build out a better fort, right? We already built like a little outpost over here, but this is not going to cut it long term. What I'm thinking is we should build a hill fort, right? Because it just makes sense. And this is a prime location for it. It overlooks everything else we've built so far. It's a perfect defensive location. Not that that really matters in this game, but just from aesthetic perspectives, it makes sense. So I'm going to be buying out this territory, and we're going to be building one heck of a fort. Bailiff is back. Got me some more stuff. Awesome, thank you. Do you want to get the monastic kitchen so we can start making monastic meals? I assume that's going to be the same as like the tavern meals, like a luxury for higher tiered monks. That's my assumption here, and I think that's a fair assumption. Other options, of course, would include some more architecture options. We could go ahead and get ourselves the cloister so they can meditate. Yeah, these are all things. A stone church. Yeah, we've had kind of a bunch of little thatched roof churches up to this point, haven't we? It would be kind of nice to have some better stuff. Let's go ahead and learn about how to make the monastic kitchen. I think that'll be fine, though I don't think I'm going to take advantage of it quite yet because, I don't know, I feel like I'm just now starting to produce herbs, and maybe I can sell those or something and make some cash instead of taking care of our monks. Annoyed visitors. What? Some visitors had a terrible time and have upset my villagers. That happened twice, apparently, because I just lost a freaking ton of happiness, and a whole load of people are angry because they don't know how to find food. Okay, first off, what visitors, and what are you talking about? What are you even talking about? Secondly, what do you mean you guys can't find food? I'm telling you, the food exists. You guys just aren't looking hard enough. Oh, but this time we had some delighted villagers. Like, what happened? What's the difference? Whatever. We get more happiness than we lost. We're back up to 50% plus. I'm just worried about this berry fair, okay? We gotta have at least like 50 happiness for this to work. Oh, thank God. We got ourselves a merry fair. A very merry fair indeed. All right, fine. 23 days to deliver this stuff. That's gonna be fine. We've got 33 influence with the labor, and honestly, not a thing to do with it until we get up to 150 prosperity, and I'm only 5 points away from that, so that's coming up pretty soon. Then we'll be able to start getting some extra taxes from smiths, from taverns and stuff. There's a lot of cool things we can get here, but nothing outstanding, actually. The exemplar level doesn't seem to have anything game-changing. Go ahead and sell stuff off to the clergy as promised. There we go. All right, that takes care of some of that. Hey, cool. We get more stuff over here now. What do we want? We can get rid of the splendor negative impact between the clergy and the kingdom. Yep. In my opinion, the less these guys feel competitive with each other, the easier it is to start making progress in all 3 tech trees instead of only 2. Oh, and also, that's an apiary done. How many manuscripts we got? Only 12. That means we should be able to promote 1 monk to a brother rank. So let's go over here to our mandate. Let's open up the list. And we'll scroll all the way to the bottom. There's a brother. All right, so we're going to go ahead and pay, and I guess have this forager take on that role. And then do we want to go ahead and start getting some citizens? I guess we could. We don't really have much in the way of goods, so it's a bit risky, but let's promote a few people, including our bailiff, our bartender, our blacksmith, our brewer. You know, key members of society or something like that. I don't know. There we go. So that should be pretty much all of my money spent just promoting people. We do have somebody working as a beekeeper now. That's kind of exciting. Hey, how much can we tax these new citizens? That's the real question. Well, we weren't taxing them almost anything before. Now we'll tax them plenty. All right, so these guys are going to start paying me some serious moolah, and I'm really hoping that I'm right, and they will go to the tavern to start consuming. Yes, in fact, wait a minute. There's 3 people in the public lounge! It worked! It freaking worked! Well, now that somebody's able to make things like wax, I guess we can go ahead and start working on some more goods production. I wanted to get myself a candle workshop. And I guess I'll place it down over this area, close to where the monks are residing, so we can easily access everything I need. Dang it, it's going to cost me 300 gold coins. Well, as long as we sell a lot of stuff, this shouldn't be too bad. Let's go ahead and add a monastic kitchen onto our monastery. This is kind of a precarious location, but I'll go with it. This requires some sort of a building with a chimney, weirdly enough. And between that and a little, what is it called, reflectory or whatever I'm building here? Refectory, that's the one. That should be all I need to start making some monastic meals, and that's good since I'm going to have some higher-ranked monks and nuns for a little bit. So I figure might as well give them the good stuff. Oh, almost forgot that we have our candle maker over here. Okay, it takes tools and iron? As well as the wax? Really? That just feels kind of unfortunate. That's kind of expensive for some gosh dang candles, don't you think? All right. Let's go ahead and buy out that territory I was talking about right over here. Makes a lot of sense. I need some more housing space and stuff anyway, and this is all going to be pretty close to a marketplace I've already got. So let's just go ahead and expand this entire area for additional housing. And then, as far as more territory, if I want to place the castle right up on this hill, and this is kind of where I want it, then I think I need to buy this territory as well. Well, I got more houses upgrading. Anything going to tier 3? No, it's all tier 2. Darn it. I've got citizens. I was kind of hoping we were going to see some really swanky new homes. But no, just commoners as far as you can see. You know what? It's still an improvement over the filthy serfs. Do I want to go ahead and unlock the cloisters? Yeah, I guess we can go ahead and do a cloister. What defines a cloister exactly? I mean, I like the word and all, but that doesn't mean I have a clue what I'm talking about. Let's take a look over here and see if anything new and exciting got added in. There's the cloister. And the cloister, oh, hello. Okay, it's like a nice little meditative spot. Oh, I know what a cloister is. It's like those big courtyard things that you get inside of... Yeah, okay. Brain, I think you may have figured it out. Either that or I'm wrong and I'm about to be made... into a laughing stock on the internet. It's one of the two. Now, this is interesting. Okay, so what you're supposed to do with the cloister is kind of create a bit of a box shape here, right? Which is kind of what I'm doing right now. At least such is the idea, though I might be able to tie this off just a smidge more. It's not perfect. Whatever, we'll leave this kind of as is. So it looks like, though, you're supposed to actually place down some sort of a entrance to this thing. And it creates this box-sized thing? I don't totally know what this is supposed to be for, but it does create an actual cloister size to it. Weird. Oh, dear God in heaven, this is going to take me a long time to build. 420 polished stone! 420! Woo! Okay. Yeah, big cloister. Big cloister! I hope this is worth it. It's probably not. Oh, right. I actually could buy some stuff now from the labor category. I'm up to 196 prosperity. Do I want a better tavern for the future? Maybe. Drinking tavern could be nice too. Dutiful taxes, residential taxation happiness decreased by 50%. So if you tax people a stupid amount, they're actually okay with that, huh? Okay. Every time you trade with a village of the labor allegiance, you gain influence. Wow, okay. And then labor buildings upkeep reduced. Huh. Let's go for another upgrade to taverns and stuff, which may sound weird, right? Because I'm not going to modify this tavern. But I do believe that whenever I do build up a proper fort over here, soldiers like going to taverns, I think. So it would make a lot of sense to build a really nice modern tavern. You know, something I should actually work on too, and I don't know why I've waited on this so long. We've got lots of iron ore finally coming in, and enough coal. Which means we're producing plenty of iron bars, and we don't need a ton more tools. I mean, the blacksmith, yeah, we can go ahead and assign a second one here, and it wouldn't be the worst idea in the world. So we'll do that, but I think we should also get ourselves the Common Wares Workshop, which takes planks and iron, but produces another one of those goods we can sell at the market. We've reached the thriving tier of prosperity. Is that the last one? Yes, it is. Okay, so as long as we got money, we can finish some of this stuff up. Jewelry, we need gold. Yeah, don't got none of that. Glass, jewelry, quartz, gems, Candles improvement will unlock extension. The heck does that mean? Common wares improvement will unlock tower. The heck does that mean? All right, fine. I get myself an extension for candles. What does that do? I can add a thing onto my candles. No, literally I can do that. Removes one tool from the resources needed to make candles. Really? Okay, so then it becomes just wax and iron. Oh, well that's a cool little efficiency upgrade I had no idea would exist. Oh, now this is good to know. So I'm expanding out the marketplace a little bit, and I was trying to think, what would be a luxury that we could actually use? So I built a luxury stall. It's not just things like jewelry and gems, and why I'd ever get rid of gems, I don't know. Herbs and honey count as luxuries, and I should be producing a decent number of herbs now. So, like, this is a completely viable thing I can do to make sure that my citizens stay nice and happy. Perfect. Well, I'm definitely rolling in income now. That's working out pretty darn nicely. So, while we're waiting for a lot more stuff to happen down below, let's start taking a look at that whole fort situation, shall we? I still stand by that being a good thing to do. So it's not a wall, it's not under decoration, I think it's under administration? Yes, military fort. Okay, so we want to place you, let's say right up here, as close to the tip top of the hill as we can get. And I think that's going to have to be good. So we want to do a fortified keep, we need training grounds, we need barracks, and we need to have, I guess, a treasury if you want it. Let's start with the fortified keep, we've seen that before. That's where we have this giant tower, which, by the way, fun little fact. We want to go ahead and place this, like, right here, for example. Could you just keep building this to be, like, ludicrously tall? Oh, yeah, you could do that. I don't know why you'd want to. But you could totally do that if that was a thing. Anyway, we'll try placing down a reasonably large tower over there, followed by, I don't know, how about some wooden passageways that kind of tie some of this together, like this. Plus, we get an extra tower over there, and so on. We kind of build a nice little hill fort. Oh my gosh, the first step of the cloister has been finally built. This is a little too expensive to be worthwhile. I don't even know what the point is of having a cloister, this nice little open area. I'm sure it's great for the whole contemplative stuff for the monks, but what does it practically do for the town? Does it give me ridiculous amounts of splendor? I mean, the answer appears to be somewhat yes. We're going to get an extra 42 for having built out this thing. So yeah, there's that. But like, look how expensive it is! And we've barely even been able to really get started on the dang thing. I now have 5 of these stoneworkers' tents, these stonemason huts here, in order to actually continue making polished stone, because each one only can have 1 person. Why? Now, in my opinion, makes a lot more sense for each stonemason hut to either increase productivity or at least for 2 workers at each location. That's what I think ought to happen. What about you? I don't suppose anybody sells polished stone. Anybody? Yeah, actually, Davenport does. We could just start buying a lot of it. That's a thing. That would speed things up rather substantially. It's going to be ridiculously expensive, though. Polished stone's almost as expensive as the old tools, but the good news is I make a pretty decent amount of money in taxes, so I don't know. I guess we could do it. I just don't like it. I'm not going to lie. I'm kind of reaching what I would consider to be a very frustrating point of this game so far. Mainly that I've not been able to do a dang thing for over 30 minutes, actually. This game, it's awesome. Don't get me wrong. This game is really great. But, it's got its flaw, and the main flaw that I'm detecting right now is basic things like constructing is stupid. It takes so long. I don't care if you tell me that placing a builder's workshop right next to this is supposed to make it more efficient. I simply don't believe you. Because I have so many builders assigned across this city. There are only 6 things being constructed, and I've probably got somewhere close to like 15 plus builders in all the different locations across the city, and it feels like nothing is happening on any of them. I don't know if it's just because literally everything is too far away or what, but in a game like this, where let's say, have iron mines and stuff located really far away, you're going to have a spread out town like what I have right now. I don't think I've done anything too crazy, right, as far as building out as spread out as I have here. I don't think you have to build everything extremely densified. That would kind of ruin the point of the game a little bit, but somehow that needs to get turned up. I don't know if it's that builders need to carry more stuff at a time. I don't even think they just need to work faster in general. I don't know if it's an AI pathing issue. I have no idea what it is. But for example, for over 20 minutes, I've wanted just this fisher's hut built. Doesn't take much wood. I've got plenty of that. The resources are there. It's just that no one's been building it until I had to prioritize this. This took like over 20 minutes to build. That's dumb. That should not happen, right? So I'm at 2 hours of recording this episode so far, and I've made basically no progress with the dang military fort. I know it's a little far away, but it ain't that bad. Y'all are just being lazy. It's honestly really, really sad and frustrating that, like, this game that I was feeling really enthused about for a while has suddenly just hit one heck of a wall, and I really can't quite figure out entirely what the issue is. It's not just the builders, though I do think that the builders are a major problem that this game has right now. Like, again, the military fort still hasn't been built. It's been another 20 minutes since I last talked, and why? Because no one's bringing the last 2 tools and the last 5 planks over here. Very frustrating, and it's not like there's a whole lot more that needs to be done. Like, no one's touched the iron deposit. This is just too far away. This dairy farm, which is not far away from everything, also is not getting anywhere. So, like, maybe it's not just the builders that are the issue. Maybe this game just generally needs some help as far as, like, the logistics of moving supplies from place 1 to place 2, A to B, right? So, for example, your transporters. Maybe I should be assigning a lot more of these guys, right? You know, if I assign like an extra transporter over here, would that be one more person that delivers planks to the building sites? And the answer is I don't think so. I'm pretty sure builders are the only people who take things out of logistics areas. And I'm okay with that, but not when they only carry like 3 things at a time and you need hundreds and hundreds for some of the bigger projects, right? So it's those kinds of things that I think are really starting to kill the game for me right now, because it's been too long with basically nothing happening. Nothing but sitting back and wishing I could do more. Anyway, so the tower finally got built over here. It just took almost an hour to do a very small project. Let's move on to the next round of stuff. So I was kind of envisioning in my head that this is going to be more of a boxy style of forts, and then you have like training grounds and stuff on the inside. So a couple of walls with some of the keeps built up on the corners, plus some barracks maybe built into the walls, and then the training section in the center. We did officially reach the paramount level for labor, so I'll say that's at least pretty cool. We're done with that one. Yeah, I mean, I guess I'll just buy out the last of these, but at this point, the common path and labor is effectively done. Now we just sit back and wait for influence. So it's purely a matter of finishing things out with the clergy, and even that's looking pretty good. We're not far off from what I want to do. Ooh, winemaking, that would be fun. We're not far off from what I want to do here. It's the kingdom that I've made no progress on, and I really want to do that in this series. I really, really do. But what I'm kind of leaning toward at this point is I might have to take a break from this series, find some mods that hopefully make the pacing of this game a bit better, and then come back? Maybe? I don't know. Let me think on that. The new bottleneck I'm running into right now is a complete lack of tools. The polished stone is still a big issue for a lot of things, but I can purchase that, which is why I don't have a lot of money. Tools, now I'm going to have to start buying those too, because I simply can't produce enough. I mean, I've got 2 blacksmiths over here, but I am constantly waiting for workers. Not even necessarily the materials, just waiting for workers. I even want to build out another blacksmith, but I need tools to do that, right? So, like, everything just takes tools at this point, and I can't get enough with the blacksmiths. Again, this is one of those things where if there were more options to boost up productivity so I become more efficient and technologically advanced, so these 2 people go further with the same amount of materials, man, would that feel good. Well, on the plus side, the cloister is finally done, and apparently we get a gem-encrusted cross masterpiece. And if we can actually build that sucker, we get an extra 1 influence per week. Wow. But all parts need to be by a riverside. Right. Okay. Out of curiosity, what is that supposed to look like? So there's a gem-encrusted cross. We just build a big bunch of pedestals, I guess? Hang on. So if I were to place this here, plus, let's say, a hexagonal thing there, plus this here, plus then, whoops, maybe another thing. Nope, that'll not be there. Something like this, and then boom. Is that what you're talking about? A giant cross on a hill like this? Little expensive, since he needs 145 marble and 50 freaking gems, not to mention some actual sculpture pieces. So there ain't no way in heck I'm building that, but okay, yeah, that's a challenge for another day. So there's the cloister. It's not exactly a good cloister, because I can't do proper terraforming to flatten out the ground, but if the monks want to do some quiet contemplation, it's there. And as a result, my splendor goes way, way up, and now I'm up to an 80 rating with the clergy. 80! That's not bad. Oh, such a long way to go still, but at least we're making some progress. Another few hundred planks to come in, which I can produce easily enough. Cloth, I got that. Tools, we're importing those. I've got the rest of the blueprints in place. Now it's just a matter of waiting. Looks like we can finally pick up some of our first influences with the clergy at the exemplar rate. Modest monastic decorations, sure. Wine, great hall. Administrates the village mandates and receives envoys. I could see that being pretty useful at some point. And of course there's the glass working, so we can get stained glass at a glass workshop. Let's start with the winery. Look, I'm a sucker for wine. What can I say? I'm curious what the monks are going to be able to brew. So let's see. If I go over here to a winery, like so, produces grapes, and then we can make wine. Okay, how many grapes does we produce? I'm kind of thinking we could just take this area over here and turn it into a little mini vineyard. I like this idea. Let's do it. Ooh, but I'll bet you in order to do that, we have to start making barrels as well. Yeah, I don't have barrels. Well, maybe as we start opening up some more iron mining and stuff over here to produce more iron bars, we open up a lumber industry, we can turn this into a barrel area as well. Oh, here we go. Look at all the beautiful vines, plus a winery over here. Okay, so we've got enough monks going around that we should be able to fulfill all of these jobs, which is fan-flippantastic. So give it a bit of time, plus some barrels, and the monks shall make some wine. I love it. Oh my god, we're so tantalizingly close! At this point, it's been about, 4.5 hours of raw recording? Just another, 80 or so planks to go, and 15 tools. And the fort will be freaking done. Come on, guys. Come on, you can do it. I believe in you. I really do. Oh my god, it's finally done. Holy crap, that took another 30 minutes, I kid you not, for something that simple. Do you see what I'm talking about? Yeah, okay. Well, the good news is, it's done. We get a lot of extra splendor with the kingdom. It's still not enough to get us out of the negative rating. We're still at -6. So somehow I have to continue getting some additional kingdom influence one way or another. Just getting influence with the bailiff's not enough. We need to continue building things. So I might have to dot the landscape with a few more of these little outpost towns here and there. Something along those lines. Something else we can do, now that we actually do have soldiers being set up in a military fort with training dummies, so these guys gain some experience. If we take a look, there is an army tab over here, and we can see various different missions. For example, if I want to train Northbury, it's going to take 11 days or whatever it is, but let's go ahead and prepare the troops. We can get some gold, we can get some sword, we can get some spears, whatever it's going to be. Let's go ahead and do a nice, easy trip, and I will take along, I don't know, how about at least a couple of mostly trained and partially trained people, and the rest can stay behind and get themselves set up. Success probability impossible. Oh, really? Okay. What if... there we go. Need to send along at least a few of these weapons. Bring along 3 swords. Problem solved. 8 soldiers. Now let's go ahead and leave behind the untrained people and they can do their thing. So we'll send these guys. And the result is, these guys will become more and more trained up so they can take on bigger missions. We can get more weapons, like swords and spears and so on, and that's going to make it easier. These guys are going to start leveling up, and depending on what missions we take on and how difficult they are, like this clergy liberation one, for example, we can get some pretty significant rewards. So basically, this is now a little mini-game we just keep playing by building up an army, sending them to go and assist the king on his campaign in some way or another, and just enjoy a lot of extra goodies. But that is, frankly, enough for this particular video. I'm going to see if I can find a mod that speeds things up, because if I cannot, I'm not going to say the series is over, because I'm not done, but I do think there's going to be a lot more time in between videos, just because that took way too stinking long. Thank you all very much for watching. I do hope that you enjoyed this video. If so, I would ask you to hit that like button, leave a comment, subscribe, make sure you hit that notify bell, and I will see you guys next time.